The King reads comments. Alrighty, guys and gals, what is happening? It's Big E. We're from the King's room here. And today I'm going to be catching up on some comments. Pretty far behind. I think I'm 4 or 5 days behind here. I've replied to a lot of things already, just like on the keyboard. But we're going to switch over. And let me just make sure I'm all set here. We are. Let's go. Comments. Here we are. I'm going to start at the bottom here. This is from 4 days ago. From Macumazan. I probably said your name there wrong. I do apologize if I did. This is on the Bone Horde. Return to Moria. We did finish up Return to Moria. What a great game it was. He says, has the playlist order been reversed? Yes. Well, it's all screwed up. So I did an update specifically addressing the playlist issue. According to a response I got from a YouTube person, some YouTubers are affected. Not everybody's being affected, but the playlists are all screwed up. I'm unfortunately somebody who that's happening to. So by default, they should appear in sequential order from the date they're published. But for whatever reason, mine are all flip-flopped, all backwards. Things are just not where they're supposed to be. I'm looking at it and I'm doing the best I can to keep them the way that they are supposed to be, but that's what's going on. It's not me. It's just something going on with YouTube, unfortunately. So hopefully that'll be resolved soon, because I know that must be kind of a pain in the butt. Chill music with some snails and shrimp. I did a little fish tank video over here. Matthew says, very nice and calming little video. Thank you, Eric. Well, thank you, Matthew. Really glad you enjoyed it, man. I didn't scroll all the way to the bottom. Here we go. This is from Umbra Blade from 4 days ago on the King Reads comments, the last one. Thanks for the update, Big E. You seem to be doing better. Just remember, keep cutting yourself a little slack once in a while. Progress, not perfection. Peace. That's absolutely true, man. I do need to work on cutting myself some slack, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being a member of the channel. He's chosen to do that. Really, really appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Jemmy Wow says, I love this, very relaxing. I wouldn't mind a time lapse covering a few hours. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. I actually have a time lapse camera that I could use, although it's only 720p, but it's still probably good enough to put over there. I might consider doing that. Thank you, Jimmy. Hope you're doing well, man. Also a channel member. Jemmy Wow on King Reads Comments 24. Super excited about the short story series. Can't wait to watch that. Will you release all the 7 episodes at once? I actually did. I released it on Halloween. And it was kind of strange because I had already released these like last year or year before, and they were 7 episodes, and I tried to re-release them. I scheduled it, but it didn't work because they had already been released. YouTube doesn't work like that, I found out, and I've never tried that before. So what I actually had to do was play the video, all of them back to back, full screen on my monitor, and then open OBS and do display capture. I had to record from my screen from the original videos, and then what I did is I chopped them up and just ran them all together. And it worked out to like a little bit over an hour, I think, hour and 15 minutes for all 7. But you guys probably already know that. Yeah. So that was just a short horror story that I wrote. It could have been much better. I could have done a lot more editing as far as the writing goes, getting rid of unnecessary words and things like that. Just made it better. But it is what it is. I hope some of you enjoyed it. This is Jamie He says, I'd love to watch Hogwarts and Red Dead 2 from the start again. I'd like to play them again, man. I really would. Red Dead you can play so much differently when playing again, so it'll be a lot of fun. Not so much Hogwarts, but I think since you know some of the early and mid game, it'll go fast. Absolutely true, and Montoya agrees here. Yeah, I've been contemplating this, and I got to be honest, I started Red Dead Redemption again. This was a while ago. This is a couple months back by at now. Um, and I was in that first early phase where you kind of have to go through the little storyline stuff. I was like, man, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do, I just want to get back to where I'm free in my character, which probably wouldn't take that long. I might still do this. I really do. Cause I know a lot of people were into it and I was really into it as well. Glenn says, I think I'm finally going to give Iron Man another go, and I think I'll record it to see how far I can get. I hope you do, Glenn. You've not released over there. Gransver has a channel of his own, and it's called this right here, exactly. I'd love to see it, man. I really would. It seems like the hardcore, you know, it was pretty big for a little bit, even though Blizzard's version is like softcore. Um, And then it kind of died out, and for some reason, it seems to be coming back a little bit, which is kind of cool. I love watching hardcore challenges for sure. Hope you're doing well, Glenn. Along the band side, he has been publicly subscribed for a month. This is on the Bone Horde episode. The hammer is made at the Mithril Forge. Yeah, I think I finally figured this out. I got really screwed up in this game because I did a couple of things kind of out of order. Also, I'd forgotten that I already had the Mithril Forge and was running around looking for it for 2 episodes. Um, yeah, I'm not sure how far along you are. Well, you're pretty close to the end. You've probably seen all of the videos by now. Um, but we did end up. I ran into the end game, like the very end, unexpectedly. I didn't realize how far or how close I was to the end. And this happens in most of the games I play because I don't watch other Let's Plays of them if I've never played a game before. I like everything to happen. You know, everything that you see happening to me is happening to me for the first time. So I didn't realize. I mean, I had a feeling we were close, but I didn't know it was going to end so soon. Russell Carter, he says, I feel you when it comes to the old man stuff. The further I get into my 40s, the more I identify with the old man yelling at the cloud meme. Yeah, man. It comes up quick. It really does. And the older you get, the quicker time goes, it seems. But yeah, I was probably, well, who knows? This is on episode 2. It's a while back here. I love people who are watching, a lot of stuff from the beginning, and that's kind of cool. But, yeah, man, the old man stuff, I tease myself about it a lot, and I get teased a lot about it here on the channel. And if it's in if it's a lighthearted manner, I'm totally cool with that. But I do get people who stop by, and I usually have to weed those comments out. Really horrible, mean stuff, like wondering if I'm going to die soon and shit like that. It's just, to me, that's a really small mind. That's like a child's mind who thinks like that. Like they're never going to get old, right? It's not going to happen to them. I don't know. I try not to think about it too much, but I don't get many comments. Seriously, it's maybe a handful out of like 100 comments are really stupid and crappy, but I just don't let them stay on the channel. I just hide the users after I get my little reply in because I'm not going to acknowledge little shit like that. I mean, I'm not going to let it stay on the channel is what I mean there. It's just a number. It really is. Age is just a number. I mean, look at me, man. I'm 54 years old and I'm, gaming. It doesn't, I don't feel 54, and I've talked about this before. I go to the gym pretty much every day. I eat healthy. I'm in, like, the people who leave these shitty comments to me sometimes, I guarantee I'm in much better shape than they are as like teenagers or in their 20s or whatever. So that's on them. It's not on me. Thanks for the comment, Russell. Don't worry about it, brother. Young at heart, man. Triple SOZ. This is Stuart. This guy's been OG. on my channel. It looks like he unsubscribed for a while. It looks like he's back. How are you doing, Stuart? I hope you're well. His his work, this guy creates his own music, and I use, with his permission, a lot of his ambient music for my Witch Hill series that's on the channel, and I give him credit and everything like that. Pretty cool. Hope you're doing well, Stuart. I think the system with the sports scores works on a last games played. So, for example, in this video, your team was 6-0. In the last 6 games, they won 6, 0 loss, 0 draws, 0 losses. When you check later, it's 4-2. So from the last 6 games, at the time you check, they were 4 wins, 2 losses. So it's more like a form guide than a league table. The results are only for the last 6 games. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's still super strange to me that the way they have this set up. I guess they just didn't want to, go that far into it, but they could have done this by like seasons or something. But yeah, if you're wondering if you have a sports arena down in City Skylines, I don't know about City Skylines 2, but I do know in the first game, just like this. So you win 6 in a row, and if you go back to check, you might find that you're 5-1, which just doesn't make any sense. But I understand how he's explaining this here. So I guess I have to think about it like that, or just not pay too much attention to it. It's a pretty weird thing, though. Hope you're doing well, Stuart. Thanks for subbing, man. Appreciate it. Russell Carter, he says, holy crap. I thought we were done for 11 HP. Yeah, I got pretty low here. Good God, did I get low? That was episode 5. That was early on. Yeah. Wait, is this on the mage? Yeah, this is on the mage. Yeah. We've had a couple of close calls. We really have. But that's one of the closest. Thanks, Russell. Hope you're doing well, man. Casa Tali on the Iron Man Challenge, episode 65. Playing my rogue on classic era, not HC, and he's undead. I went to change my language just to RP around for a while. I can't find it. I think it may have been removed. Blizzard, damn you. You know who isn't Blizzard? Larian. Thank you, Larian. Don't forget DOS2 and BG3. I think these are games I've been gifted. DOS2? What is that? That's, I don't know. Battleground 3, maybe, and something. I've been gifted games through Steam. I have I have a handful of them from people, and I've redeemed them. I've just not installed or played them yet, and I'm going to try to squeeze some of this stuff in. Some of them look super, super interesting. But yeah, so I think what you're talking about here, I think I tried to do this at one point too, and I can't remember how to do it, but you can speak in Dwarven tongue as far as your character, or Elven or whatever. I don't remember how to do that, but I've seen other people do it in the game. Thank you, Casatali. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Glenn says, in my max days of college football, I was up to 415 on the bench, and that was in being on the O-line, the offensive line. Good number. Yes, I know. I had to add 2 5s just to outlift a teammate. That's a lot of weight, dude. It really is. That's a whole lot of weight. You should be proud of that, man. Yeah, old Glenn, quite the athlete in his younger days there. Not that he's an old man or anything. I'm doing, I got up to 425, I think. Yeah, I got up to 425, which isn't too bad for a 54-year-old man. We were talking about bench presses here. The water is 2. At the first level, you learn new. Then increases to 4 when you level, then 8, so on and so forth. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt. I've never really liked how they did that. I guess it makes sense, but it's more of a pain in the butt than it is realistic to me. We're talking about a mage. When you learn a new rank of conjure, whether it's food or water, you start out, you only make 2. So you make two, and then you get four, and then six. Then you have to sit down and drink full. You have to keep doing this to get a full stack. It's kind of a pain in the butt. At 3740, have you considered using the snipping tool to take a screenshot of Moria so you can decide exactly what is on your screen since you cannot clear the UI? Anyway, I use the snipping tool quite a bit on Moria. In fact, all of the thumbnails that you see for the Return to Moria Let's Plays, because you cannot hide the UI, and I checked with the dev on it, what I would do is just open it up in my video player, use the snipping tool to clip out around the UI. I would import it into Microsoft's Paint 3D, and then they have this thing called Magic Select, which works pretty well. So like my stamina and bars, which are right beside your character, you can highlight it, and then you can kind of remove it a little bit or fade it out. That's what I ended up doing for all of the thumbnails there. But it's really an oversight, I think, because it's such an awesome looking game, and there's no way to hide your UI for screenshots. It's just something they probably didn't think about. But you're only going to be doing that if you're like a YouTuber and you need a thumbnail, right? So they realize, yeah, not everybody's like a YouTuber, so get over it. How's it going, my man? Guru, I went to your channel, brother. This guy's he's a damn good guitarist and singer. I listened to some of his stuff. Pretty cool, man. I hope you're doing well, brother. He's a big supporter of my Return to Moria. Yes, he is. He says putting a temporary transportation stone in the Elven quarters is an effective way to get a lot of food. Yeah, so you are quite a bit behind. And I hope I haven't ruined too much. I mean, obviously, I'm going to get to the end of the game eventually anyway. But I do want to let you know, brother, that so these early episodes, I was so into the game that I'm not even kidding. I got a month ahead in videos, very far ahead. So I was getting tips and comments like this, but I wasn't responding to them in the videos that you see because, like I said, I'd recorded basically in 2 days. I was a month ahead in videos, like at least 30 episodes ahead. And so I don't start actually responding to any of these helpful comments until much further in the Let's Play. And then I slowly start to get it. So I just want you to know I appreciate all of the helpful tips and things that you've given me. So many people have, and a lot of people were getting frustrated with me. And I kept trying to explain that exactly what I said, because I'd gotten so far ahead, I just wasn't able to respond in game. Even though I could respond in a comment in real time, the videos were already recorded. So, there was no way for me to go back in time. So, but thank you, Guru. I appreciate it, man. Trust Ponk. He says, a black footprint in the snowy land of Norfendry. All right, that's on Cataclysm, Goblin Priest. That must be a reference to something. I don't know what it's a reference to, but I like the way it sounds. Dustin, how you doing, Dustin? 4 days ago, thanks for letting us know. Although I would have watched you being confused. Lots of love for you, E. This is on Return to Moria. Oh, so this is the episode, I think, where I put a little clip in at the beginning because I got rid of an entire episode. I just deleted it on purpose. Because I was running around trying to find something I already had, and I didn't want to make people watch that, like hearing me say, where is the Mithril Forge? I can't find it. We had already found it like an episode or two ago. Yeah. Talking is thirsty work. Dustin says, it's crazy how high you are on a mage and an Iron Man. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's going fairly well, I think. I think at the time that I'm doing this, we're either level 32 or 33. I'm playing it fairly safe. We've had some close calls and things, but we are real squishy. I mean, as you are in any Iron Man challenge, but especially as a cloth wearer, we essentially have no armor at all. Frost armor and stuff like that helps out, but thanks, Dustin. Appreciate you, man. Still waiting for you to find the deposit similar. It's coming up soon, brother. I promise. Well, episode 20, you're actually not going to see this for many, many episodes, my friend. I hope you end up watching this. Yeah, again, all of these comments I had seen, and but like I said, it's like a month of videos before you actually see me respond to it in the game. But this was a huge help. I love that deposit similar. I don't know why I did not see that sooner. So instead of shift right clicking on each little thing, you move one over and then you deposit everything else with the same name. It's a great little thing that they put in there. It really is. You probably know this by now, but the elven wood does not regrow unless the game gets a big patch. So this actually does happen. They did actually change this, and I found this out by accident because I put a mapstone out close to where the blessing that you get in the Elven Quarter for the lembas bread, and I noticed the trees were back. I think they did this about a month ago, maybe a little bit less, but I don't know what the time frame is, but those trees will grow back because I think they recognized how big of a problem this was. People were having to make a new world on a new character, and then they take their current character into that world to get the wood. It wasn't a very... I think it was just a massive oversight that the trees didn't grow back, but they did change it, my friend. Very good change, in my opinion. Dustin says, been playing a bunch of Hogwarts Legacy again. Best game this gen. Good game. No great game for spooky season too. Yeah, it is a great game. It really is cool. I was having a lot of fun. It really sucks that I lost the hard drive and lost those two Let's Plays. I don't know how far we were in either game, but I feel like we were probably at least halfway through. But again, like I said, maybe someday and maybe someday soon we can get back into these things. What I really have to do is stop starting new Let's Plays like the Naked Warrior that I decided to do. Mitty, how's it going, Midventures? That intro song for Blackfoot will never not be funky. It is fairly funky, isn't it? I think it's quite fitting for the goblin in the way that they dance. Thank you, Mitty. This legend has been a channel member for 1 month now. He's quote here. He says, "Ooh, that looks stupid as balls. It's not bad. Nice, man." So many emotions in one sentence. I appreciate the timestamp. Let's check it out. Blue. That looks stupid as balls. It's not that bad. Give me that. Okay. Yeah. Good point. That's the. I got a little pet because I did. I did a 6-month subscription. I think I did. I heard Travisine talking about it, how the people who do that, they got like a special mount, a lava drake or something. And it pissed me off because I've literally had a subscription for nearly 20 years, almost the entire time, maybe total a year and a half. I didn't have a subscription, but a very, very long time. I'd never gotten a gift like that. And it really pissed me off. But then it dawned on me, why not save $6 or whatever it is? I think you save $6 or something. I just went ahead and did it. I usually don't do that stuff because I have trouble with paying a lot of money up front, even though it's not like a ton of money. But for me right now in my position, it is a lot of money. But anyway, I got like that little owl pet, but good catch there, Mitty. John Constantine. Cool name, man. You probably already know, but lighting does not get rid of the darkness in the mine shafts. Also, the buff Pale Hope you might get drinking the evening ale before going to bed. It will prevent darkness. Oh, man, I didn't know that. I place a mapstone at the bottom of the mine shaft so I can travel directly to the bottom. Yeah, I think I ended up doing just exactly that. And you are right. They really did a good job in the dark deeps, those mine shafts. You're affected by being in the dark too long on your character and has this negative effect. I think you start taking damage and all of this. They did a really good job, but I was wondering if placing this thing called a Duran's lamp down there would alleviate it, but it does not. In that evening ale, I didn't realize that. I definitely did not take advantage of all of the brew things that we could do in the game. Some of them I was using, but I think there was a lot more I could have done. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate it, man. Really do. ZS, how's it going, ZS? This is from 3 days ago. Cataclysm episode 50. So the other random dungeon you can queue for is Burning Crusade Heroic. Just so you're not doing the same 2 Wrath of Lich King dungeons. That's cool, man. Thanks for letting me know this. I actually tried to get into a heroic dungeon, but I was nearly an hour in the queue, and it just wasn't happening. So I kind of gave up on it. But I would like to do some heroics for sure. Try to heal some of them to see if I'm worthy. Thank you, ZS. Appreciate you, man. Matthew says, I'm very glad you have so much energy after you're having your tooth removed. Makes me feel very happy. I love you, Matthew. Always with the wonderful comments. Really, he's been this way since the beginning. Matthew has been here a very long time on my channel, along with a lot of others as well. But thank you, Matthew. Yeah, I'm now that tooth is gone. Basically, no tooth pain. I mean, I have another one that needs to be pulled, but it's not causing me constant pain. It sucks a little bit, but it's not that bad. I am going to the dentist on the 12th of this month in November to get another tooth taken care of. And then I think I'm going back basically every month. I go back in mid-December, I think, for an overall cleaning and probably some cavity filling and things like that. But thank you, Matthew. I appreciate you. Love you, dude. Dolores with the little kitty cat. Hello, Dolores. She says, thanks for posting. Made my day in the office a little more bearable. Doing great on the mage. Really appreciate it. I love comments like this, Dolores. Thank you so much for listening. I know a lot of people listen to me, at work and stuff like that, which I think is awesome. I really do. What do you do for work, Dolores? I'm curious. She's like, I'm not telling you, freak. Let me know. Leave a new comment on this video. I'm curious to what anybody. I'm curious to what you guys do for work. I'm getting pretty good with remembering people. Well, is that true? Kinda. I mean, I don't really know personal information about a handful of you I do, but not much. I'm just curious what you do for work. Progressive Logic. I've died twice so far in my hardcore adventures. The first one to Hogger with the level 9 druid in a group. That is rough, man. That is quite rough. Number 2 to Horde guards in Ashenvale. That's even rougher. With a 24 warlock. What a challenge this is going to be. Thanks for the update, man. That is, I mean, I'm sorry to hear you died, but to me, this is what makes hardcore fun, man. When the risk of dying is a real thing, you just, you don't, because any other version of the game, you just res your character and run back to your body. But when dying means you lose your character, it just makes it more interesting to me. But well played, man. Hogger is no joke. In level 9, what is Hogger? He's like a 10 or 11 elite, isn't he? I feel like he's somewhere in there. Yeah, he's no joke in Classic. He hits damn hard. And if you're not careful, you can pull other mobs. That's what makes him even more dangerous. But that sucks, man. Sorry to hear. I hope you go again, my friend. And 24 on the Warlock, that's rough. That's a good run, man, for sure. I think it was Saved by Grace told me the average level for a hardcore death is like between like 9 and 12 or something like that. So that's pretty impressive, my friend. We go again, as they say. Here he is, the guru. As a wise person mentioned in a previous vid, elven wood does not grow back. It does now, but yeah, early on I was using it for arrows because I had no idea, because I'd never played the game, like what a key ingredient it was, and I had no idea that I wouldn't be able to get it again. I'm super glad they made that change, though. At least in the solo campaign version of the game, I've never played like sandbox or anything, so I can't actually say that the elven wood grows back in the elven quarter across the board, but it did in my solo campaign. Yes, it did. Touch Me Nancy says, you should have Resident Evil 2 remake already. I did do a thing a while back. You did, didn't you? You did. I forgot all about this. Yeah, I've been gifted a handful of games. Thank you, man. Wow, yeah, because I was complaining about how effing expensive it was. Jeez, you spent the money on me, Drew. Dude, I got to look at my library. I really do. My library's open. Let me open this. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can. So there's 2 games I have installed. Let's sort it by this. There it is. Right there. Oh, Drew, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I have a lot of games to get to. Well, maybe this is the next Resident Evil. I've been not putting it off, but I just haven't started anything new yet. Maybe Resident Evil 2 is what we will do next. Thank you, Drew. I love you, man. He's been pubbed to me for a year, and he has been a channel member for a year and 5 months. That's interesting. Oh, publicly subscribed. He's like, I hid it for 5 months because I didn't want you to know. Love you, Drew. Philip, what's going on, Philip? Good you made it in a crazy roundabout way, but you did it. Congratulations. Good work. Have you thought about doing sandbox mode? No, but I've been recommended to do this by a gaming grandma as well, and at least one other person. He says there's a lot of new weapons in sandbox. That's awesome. Yeah, maybe we do that. I did really, really enjoy the game. I think sandbox mode is a little bit more difficult. The story mode or solo campaign, there's a lot more lore to it, and you kind of go from one thing to the next for the most part. I heard sandbox, you basically you're in, and then pretty much anything can happen. So it does sound like something I'm interested in for sure. Dustin says, "Grats." Thank you. Yeah, that's the end of the game right there. Thank you, Dustin. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope I didn't piss you off too much with the last King Reed's comments or answering questions with Taylor. I know you're a huge Taylor Swift fan, my friend. I know that you are. And that's fine with me. Just not my thing. But I hope I didn't piss you off or anybody else. Glenn says at 4840, not to jump off topic, but I have been married to my wife for over 18 years now, and it just took this past summer when we went out to Williamsburg for it to actually sink in that my daughter and wife's 12th, wife and daughter 13th, great-grandfather was Christopher Newport. Really? Of the college, Christopher Newport College? I know Williamsburg, man. I used to hang out here when I was a kid. This is in Virginia. And she has family buried at Jamestown. This is. Bragg is her last name. I am just that unaware sometimes, I guess. That's awesome, man. That's quite a family lineage there. Yeah, so there's a college called William and Mary, and then there's a college, another college, Christopher Newport, which a lot of people will go to after high school, depends, and then make their way into the other college. But Williamsburg, Virginia is it's a colonial town, old. It's a big touristy place too, but it's really, really interesting. That's awesome, Glenn. Seriously, man. It really is. Also, congratulations. 18 years of marriage, man. It's a long time, brother. Good for you. At the 53-minute mark, I've said this before, we not only follow your channel because your games, but your candid chat that you have with us. You're a great guy, E. And the pain we go through is who makes us who we are today. The good, the bad, the ugly. Never stop being you, my friend. Thank you so much, Glenn. What a beautiful comment. I really appreciate that. I was probably story time with Big E. I do this quite a bit. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what that was referring to. Thank you, Glenn. You know I love you, man. I really hope you're doing well, my friend. Jamie says, I cannot wait for this. This is on Witch Hill. Yeah. Little short horror story there. It's not the best, but like I said, it's I'm not a professional writer or anything. It was fun. It was fun to do. Glenn says, I might have missed it, but have you listed what mods you were using for City Skylines yet? Am I doing that? Um, I don't actually know that I am. I'm going to have to check this, Glenn. I thought I had them listed. If they're listed, they'll be in the details section, or not the detail. Underneath the video, you can click on where I think it show more. It may have the mods listed that I'm using there. I'll have to check it out. Thanks for reminding me. He says, this is Resident Evil episode 6. He's all over the place with what he's watching here. Your sniper shots have got me into the mood to go out and get Elite Sniper 5 when I can. Have you ever thought about playing a game like that on the channel? Honestly, you seem to get a lot of joy out of using the sniper rifle. And I played some of the previous Sniper Elite games, and they're all really fun. I've never actually even heard of Sniper Elite, but I do like using the sniper rifle. Yes, I do. It's a little bit sick and morbid, but I like seeing those zombie heads pop off. Yeah, I don't think we've ever played like a first-person shooter, if that's like the type of game you're talking about. I mean, we've played, games where I have a weapon in my hand, but I think that's a little bit different. That's something to think about. Thanks, Glenn. Guru, the playlist is upside down. I'm so sorry, man. The end is now first. I'm so sorry. I hope YouTube gets this worked out, because I can go into my playlists and I can resort them. Sometimes they'll reorganize, but other times they just don't. They just won't do it. And if I scroll through, I'll see like episode 56. The next one's episode 3. It's just some weird thing that's happening to some channels on YouTube. This is according to a technician that responded to my email inquiry. I have like a support option I can do as a YouTuber. So hopefully they're going to work on this soon. Because I guess the way it should be is the date published oldest, right? You should start with 1, 2, 3. But I have noticed that it's just not working out. So, yeah, it's a YouTube problem. Sorry about that, Guru. Senix, what's going on, brother? How are you doing, my friend? He says the TipTac add-on can show what specs people are in on the tooltip. You need to enable it somewhere in settings, although I think you need to be in inspect range because it uses the talent inspect to get it or something like that. Also, of course, details can show specs, but not on the tooltip. Thank you, man. Yeah, I was wondering. So another way for me to do this is I think if I use the DPS meters and things, I think you can also configure that to show the icon, which shows what spec they're in. The problem with that is I probably wouldn't recognize Fury from Arms as far as what the picture shows. Thanks, man. I'll have to have a look at that, because I am curious sometimes to what somebody, what spec they're in. Not all the time, but I am curious. Thank you, Cinex. He's the master of all things Warcraft right there. Yes, he is. Glenn at 12:30. My wife has a doll that has been passed down in her family for like 3 generations and has real human hair. Yikes. No. Sell that immediately. It freaks the crap out of me, and I cannot wait to find a way to get rid of it. She has said that when her mom dies, she has to take it. She isn't sure what she's going to do with it. She doesn't want it either. Who knows, man? You maybe take that to like a like the antiques show or something to see if it's some special thing. You know what would be interesting is to do a DNA. They're super expensive though, but to do DNA on the hair to see what that's about. That's super weird, man. It really is. Yikes. Tyler, what's going on, Tyler? He says, I'm no expert, but I probably wouldn't worry too much about haste for all these leveling dungeons. You're probably right. Int spell power are likely more important at this point since people just want to roll and everything dies so quick. Absolutely true. Up your spell power for mana efficiency and use your int for mana pool. Then at max level, you probably focus on haste when keeping up with bigger incoming damage because it becomes an issue. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I got to be honest, a lot of the talent points I've picked, or not picked, I should say, specifically have been chosen or not chosen because of the nature of Cataclysm if you're dungeon leveling. It's just so ridiculous. There are just some things that just don't make any sense to spec into because of the speed, you know? And it's probably the same thing with the DPS, like a lot of dots that a Warlock would have. If you're a Warlock in Cataclysm, you're probably not, you don't have a chance to dot these little mobs up, right? You're probably just spamming Shadow Bolt or something, or some other direct damage. It must be pretty rough trying to keep up because things just die so quickly. There's no time for anything to even tick on a mob. Good point, Tyler. 100%. David says, I love story time with Big E. This one is a bit morbid, but it's still a bit interesting to get a glimpse in your past. Thanks for sharing that. So I think I might have been sharing a story about the Colonial Parkway murderer. It's not really a joke, but I had an experience that I talk about here in episode 67 of the Iron Man Challenge. Really super creepy. And I actually knew somebody who was murdered by that guy. But the story I'm telling is I was with a group of friends, and I'm 100% sure we ran into that guy. He walked up behind us. It's a creepy. You can listen to it if you want. I don't know, but I think that's what that's referring to. Thanks, David. Guru, I have raids bugging out a lot in Dwaro Delph as well. I wonder if that's something to do with the renaming the map stone or the camp. That's a good point. Yeah, I was having a lot of bugs there too. I actually thought, so what was happening to me is I built in this massive place in a place called Dwaro Delph, and I put hearths all over because somebody had told me if you put a hearth down or enough of them, it actually keeps mobs from spawning like inside your base. So I did like this big giant perimeter. And then every once in a while it would say there's a raid currently happening, but I would never get any mobs inside the base. So it could be with renaming the mapstone, but I think it's probably more related to having hearths all over the place to where they don't trigger, like the raid triggers, but they're not able to spawn in, I think is probably what's happening there. Gaming Grandma. How are you doing, Teresa? 2 days ago on Is This the End? Such a pleasure to watch you play. I would love to watch you build the ultimate base. I would also love to watch you and Finn play in the sandbox. One last surprise awaits. Really? Okay, I did not know that. Take Durn's axe to the first cursed door at the beginning of the game. I forgot all about this. I forgot all about that first cursed door that you run into. Okay, well, there's going to be an additional episode then. Yes, there is. Man, I almost uninstalled this because I didn't think anybody was interested in going further. Well, Teresa, thank you so much. Absolutely, I'm going to do this. Yeah, there will be at least one final episode where we'll do that. I forgot all about those. I think that's the last door. I went back to a couple of the early ones and used Durin Axe to get rid of the shadow, but I did not go all the way back. Thank you, Teresa. Jemmy says, man, Eric, I love when you just tell these stories. They're very nice to listen to, even though these stories are crazy, perfect for Halloween. This must have been the Colonial Parkway murderer story. Thank you, Jemmy. Sports Entertained. What's going on, my friend? He says, Vasher, I don't know how to say that, is my favorite zone in all of WoW. I didn't think anybody liked that. That's cool, man. It's definitely different and unique. I think majority of people hated it. I didn't like it very much just because of the whole underwater thing. But here's the thing about this. If you get through the opening quests, well, first of all, you can breathe underwater, right? But you have increased speed, not only from amount that you get, but if you're on the bottom, your character runs super, super fast. So it's pretty interesting for sure. It's cool to know that it's your favorite zone, man. I didn't think anybody liked it. That's awesome. Dustin says, how'd the dentist appointment go? Did I miss the episode? You talked about it. I think I put out an update. It was either, well, it may have been it was from the King's Room. There's a playlist called the King's Room where I talk about updates on the channel, or sometimes something's going on with a certain Let's Play, or I'll do like a personal update. But I think I did one because I thought I was going to have to take a bunch of time off of recording videos. It went very well, Dustin. I got the tooth pulled, so I had to go back. The second time, they put me on a week of antibiotics. It got rid of the infection. It was abscess and all this. And the first time I went to get it pulled, it just wouldn't numb. Every time she touched it, it was sharp, intense pain. She says that happens sometimes. And she pumped me like 3 times more Novocaine than they would normally use on somebody. And she goes, it's too risky to do anymore. So they gave me an antibiotic to take for a week. I went back. She numbed it when I went back the second time. And the thing, it was gone in 5 minutes. It was still a little bit painful, but it's gone now. I don't have to worry about it. But thanks for asking, Dustin. I appreciate it. I'm going back in like a week or so to get another one taken care of. At 54:35, Battle for Azeroth. What expansion was that? Oh, I'm trying to remember. Who knows what I'm talking about? I was trying to figure out what expansion was something. Thanks. So Battle for Azeroth. Who knows what I was talking about? I don't know. Thanks, Glenn. I really need to post more stuff. I have around 1.5 terabytes of saved videos that I haven't posted yet. No idea why. Maybe I was talking about Glenn's channel here. I have YouTube channels, and I watch their channels. Oh yeah, I'm talking about YouTubers who follow. We have a lot on the channel. Yeah, Glenn hasn't posted in a while. He's been busy with real life stuff, man. Yes, he has. Have you looked up going up and doing Terran Mill? Yes, we have. That should be a good level of enemies for this challenge. Episode 68. Yeah, we're pretty close. You're pretty close to the current one. I think we already went there. Yeah, you might have skipped ahead or something, but I think we went to Terran Mill. I made the run in there. We've done some quests in there. I'm going back and forth between areas where I have green quests. It's the safest that I can do. Congrats on the Mountaineers pack. Thank you, Guru. Appreciate it. It took me long enough, didn't it? This was huge. Yes, it was. It was really huge. Mitty says, let's go on the Naked Warrior. New Let's Play on the channel. I'm having a lot of fun with that already. Dustin says, the reaction between you and the AI voiceover is priceless. It's my favorite part of the videos you make with the AI voiceover. The content itself is fine too. But yeah, I love seeing you happy and laughing or even slightly annoyed sometimes. Thank you, Dustin. This voiceover add-on is a source of joy for me. It really is. Because they don't acknowledge punctuation, or if you're reading it and he's supposed to be going, he'll go HMM. It's so crazy. It is a lot of fun. Thank you, Dustin. Glenn says, Scorch is a decent spell. It saved me more than once when I was lower on mana. Okay, that's good to know. I was contemplating this spell. I was comparing it basically with Fire Blast. And for right now, the rank of it, Fire Blast is just better for me because it's instant. I think Scorch is a cast, and at this point it does less mana, but I know if I got it ranked up, it'd probably be useful. I'll have to look at it again. I do tend to do that. I look at short-term instead of a long-term effect on a spell. Thank you, Glenn. Hey, the Josh Short. How are you? I've not seen you before. Welcome, man. The documentary Heart of Darkness is a pretty wild tale of the filming of Apocalypse Now. Check it out if you haven't seen it. I'll absolutely check it out, man. So Heart of Darkness is a story by Joseph Conrad, a great book I've read recently. And I had no idea that the film Apocalypse Now, which is a classic film, was based on the Heart of Darkness. As I was reading the book, I was like, this sounds strangely familiar. And then I started hearing like Colonel Kurtz. I was like, oh, well, this is where that comes from. Yeah, a great adaptation of the book. So The Heart of Darkness takes place, like the original book, a much, much earlier period of time in what what's his name? God, I can't remember the director. When he did Apocalypse Now, they basically moved it forward in time during the Vietnam War. It's an incredible film, an incredible book. But thank you for that, Josh. If you're new or newish, man, welcome to the channel. If you decide to stick around, I really appreciate it. I'll have to check it out. I love seeing things like that. I do know a couple of interesting facts about Apocalypse Now. I know that there's a scene fairly early on with Martin Sheen, a tremendous actor, where he's drunk in his hotel room. And it turns out he really was completely fucked up. He like cut his hand from breaking a mirror. It was Kubrick, right? That's a Kubrick film. I can't remember who did it. It might not be Kubrick. I don't think it is, actually. But he got him drunk in real life, and they just filmed him. Like they filmed the whole thing. It's very, very interesting that he wasn't really acting. He was just fucked up. Really cool. Baron, what's up, Baron? He says, damn, that was a shocker. For a moment, I was convinced Susie had died when I saw you started a new character. Oh, yeah. I was wondering if that was going to be a thing, because these come out at 5 a.m. This comes out before the Iron Man. I was wondering if people were going to think that. But no, Susie's still very much alive and going. Thank you, Baron. Hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for watching and following, seriously. Glenn said, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. This is exactly what the movie I'm talking about. So I'm not sure why I brought it up, but yeah, it's a classic line from Robert Duvall in that movie. And I'm trying, so they added things. Obviously, the movie is a little different from the book. This is a rare case, I would say, where you could argue the movie maybe even better than the book. Just certain scenes. I don't know. They added a whole bunch of stuff. The book is incredible. I loved the book. But they really did a good job. This is, I think, a very, very rare case where the director adding or writers adding stuff did not take away from the core of what the book was or what the movie was about. Personally, I think. Usually, I think it's a mistake when directors do that, but this was a great example of it. Sports Entertained. I have a couple of characters on Bloodsail Buccaneers. Maybe I'll see you around, Naked. Give me a wave, my friend. Absolutely. Yeah, if you see me out there running around, give me a buff. I'm allowed to have buffs on this character. Buff me up, please. Also, I mentioned Sports Entertained, and for anybody else watching, I am down to run dungeons on this character. The first dungeon we can run is Dead Mines in Westfall. I can't remember the level range, but if you have characters around that level and you want to hang out for me, if I live that long, I'd be down to run. We do need a group, though. We need tank and healer, because obviously all I can do is DPS, and it's not going to be very much. But that would be fun. AFK, what add-on are you using to make your action bar look so small? I know UI scale works as well, but it makes everything too small. So I actually have a video on the channel, AFK, if you happen to see this. And it's called, just do a search on my channel. There's a little magnifying glass up at the top, right up here. If you look here and go, just type add-on right here, 13 days ago, my favorite add-ons for Classic and how I use them. So I use, to make that happen with my UI, it's mostly Bartender. I can shrink the bars, I can move them wherever I want, I can add or take bars away. And AFK, if you watch that video and you want more information on how to use it, because if you've never used Bartender before, it can be a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot to it. Just let me know. Leave a comment. I'd be more than happy to make a specific video on how I use that specific add-on Bartender and how you can, if you're interested in getting your UI a little bit cleaner, like I like mine, just let me know. Seriously, I don't mind doing it at all. Glenn, how's it going? He says, at the 8-minute mark, I have a quick design question. I'm looking at the screen at this time, and I know you were picky about your roads. I've been playing, and I was curious to why upper middle of the screen at this time stamp, the road has such a sharper than needed turn. Yeah, I do this a lot. I've been working with the curved road tool, and you could really smooth it out and make it more curved there. I think that it might work and solve more of the road issues when creating ramps and whatnot, instead of making it work or IT, the model work easier. Just thought, just a thought, you rock at this game. Yeah, I do use the curved road tool sometimes, but I've noticed if you're just, it depends on the intersection or where the curve is, but a lot of the roads will just be 90s. But you can make the 90, you can remove the two end pieces and use the curved road tool to get a nice curved road. I do that sometimes. I probably should be doing it much more than I do, but I'm also kind of lazy. Let's check it out. Right here. Yeah. Oh, I actually, dude, so when I was doing this cinematic, one of the cinematics, I was looking at this as like, that is ridiculous. I need to change it. Yeah, they do slow down a little bit right there. So what I could do, the curved road tool, I probably need to move this building. And what I probably need to do is come up this way and have a more gradual curve, because this is a one-way system. But you're 100% right, Glenn. I need to do that more often. It's cool that you're playing. I hope you're having fun with it. City Skylines is one of my all-time favorite games for just kind of chilling and wasting time, really. Bill Willis, how's it going, Bill? Good friend of mine at this point. He says it's naked time and you're wearing clothes. Yes, I think he means IRL there. I got the dwarf as naked as I could, Bill. He could only get him down to his skivvies. Yeah, that's as far as it goes. And does anybody really want to see me naked? Love you, Bill. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Impy Classic Wow. Nice challenge. This will be good, Biggie. Thank you, Impy. Appreciate you. Love what you're doing over there, man. I talked about this guy. I've given him shout outs before. I watched this legend on an Iron Man challenge fight Eliza, Morladim, and Morbent Fell. All three of them. Not at the same time. Now, there was some cheese involved, but still, it's super effing impressive. He basically tank and spanked Morbent Fell, which, in my opinion, is the toughest challenge. I mean, Eliza's pretty rough, too. But Morbent Fell is insane. This guy did it on a priest. I highly recommend watching that episode. It was quite impressive. And I also learned a lot of cheese. If I do these in the future, I'm going to use these exact same methods. Great stuff, Impy. Super impressive, man. Those are things I would never even attempt. The only one I would attempt is Morladim, because he's by himself, right? He just walks around. But Eliza and Morbent Fell, I was super impressed. Super, super impressed, man. Salsh. What's going on, Salsh? Welcome if you're new. Very nice. Thanks. Glad you enjoyed it. Absolutely. Hope you stick around. It's always nice to see new people. Welcome to the Misty Mountain Gaming family if you decide to stick around there. Glenn, at the 18-minute mark, he loves you. He thought you were cold and could use a little warming up. What is this? Let's see what it is. Thanks for the timestamps. The car. I see what he's fucking done. F-bomb. And I go to get all the way out, and I put my hand down right on one of these tumbleweed things. Okay, I had a story I shared when I was doing car repairs. I was underneath my car earlier in the week, and a dog pissed on my leg while I was under the car. And I didn't really know what happened at first, but yeah, there's a whole thing. I can laugh about it now, but let me tell you something, man. When it happened, I was not okay. I was not in a good place, man. That's episode 13 on City Skylines. If you're interested, kind of a funny story about getting peed on by a dog. When I was in a prone position and could do nothing about it. 3625. Hey, reincarnation at its finest. Let's see what this is. Replaces dead people with children. That's an add-on. It's ridiculously worded. I think I end up using this because I get so tired of how the death care works in City Skylines 1. I have a problem with things flashing like they need attention, and it's a constant thing in the game. But I think I end up getting tired of it. And I use this add-on where if somebody, because there's a life cycle in City Skylines, it's a simulation game. And if a sim dies, you'll get an icon that says, hey, there's a body here, which alerts the nearest cemetery or crematorium. They send out a hearse. But the high density buildings take so long. I think I end up getting a mod that if somebody dies, they're automatically replaced with a baby, which is insane. 1335, just happy to see you, baby. Grr, baby, grr. Love the timestamps. By the way, if you guys are wondering how to leave a timestamp, if you're referring to something specifically, all you have to do is pause the video and just look at the time where it is and just type that in, 13:35, hit space. It'll turn into a blue hyperlink. So let's see what this is. See what I'm talking about here. Face. He's also got a bone in his hand.
Congratulations.
Got a bone in your hand, or are you just happy to see me? Okay, I knew where that was going. Thanks, Glenn. 4645, I'm so proud of you. You are being sociable. Frickin' rock on, my friend. So this, I know what this is. We had a character, a dwarven female who started the same time I did, and we ended up running with her for a little bit. It's kind of cool. I actually got into a group with her and stuff. Very, very cool. I've got her name written down. She gave me a 10-slot bag. We see her later on in like episode 2, I think. And she gives me a 10-slot bag. So effing cool. Yes. Yes. The Pursuer, Umbrella Secret Service. He hasn't posted in a while. What's going on over there, Pursuer? I want to see some content. Huh? He says, the city is looking great. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Episode 13. I'm not sure how far. This is probably current. Oh, this is from 17 hours ago. Yeah, this is probably today's video. Thank you, Pursuer. Appreciate it, man. Glenn says, thank you, Eric. This was a fantastic game and a fantastic playthrough. Your genuine reactions to what took place in the game made it even better. Cannot wait for you for what you decide to do for the next Fright Night. We all enjoy your WoW and City Skylines, my favorite, but your Fright Night playthroughs always seem to hit the spot. Really appreciate that, man. I enjoy the Fright Night games a lot. Horror survival, as I've mentioned, they're my favorite genre of game to play. I just really get into them, especially if it's got a good story like Resident Evil. This was a lot of fun. It really was. The village was great. Yes, it was. Kat, how's it going, Kat? Good to see you. I love the profile picture there. O'Driscoll Scum. Oh, this is Red Dead. Somebody's going back and watching these early ones, man. This makes me want to play this game again even more now. Thank you so much. You know what? You get a heart right there. I don't know if you're going to see this, but if you do, welcome. Welcome. Wonder what I was doing in this episode. Oh, this is still in like the tutorial phase where we're in that snowy like hideaway and all of that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Glenn says at 12:35, yeah, smishing sucks. Smishing? When I go into new clients, when I did it in my previous roles, and have to teach people, no, your boss is not texting you that he needs you to get him $200 worth of Apple gift cards. Yeah. So this is fish. I was talking about phishing stuff probably. Wow. All the way back to Cataclysm, episode 4 on the Goblin. I was talking about spam, how it's evolving, and it's now you get text messages and it'll be simply like, hey, how you doing? Haven't talked to you in a while. Just a text message. Don't reply to that crap. Just block them as spam. I mean, obviously, unless you know the person. But this is a whole thing they're doing now. They're trying to get you engaged in a conversation, and then it eventually will lead to you doing something for them. I just block them immediately. if somebody's going to send you a text message, you're going to know what it's referencing, right? Or at least say your name or whatever. At 1815, I usually put the orange circle in the tank due to I have a self-created add-ons and macros that I have to set my focus on insert marker so it will direct what I need done to the as mentioned marked group member. That is a hell of a sentence. But that is just me. No idea why others do it. Oh, like marking the tank up. I can understand doing it, especially in these fast-paced dungeons. I guess it does make a little sense. If you're trying to keep up, I don't really think you would need to mark the healer up. I just think if you're a tank, I do think you need to be aware of your healer's mana and look at your party to make sure nobody's grayed out, which means they're far behind, right? A lot of tanks don't seem to do this, and I don't know, it's just kind of crappy. I think it's just a crappy tank if you're not paying attention to your group. Like if you're all you want to do is one pack to the other, I can understand wanting to roll, but I don't understand doing that when your healer is completely out of mana or just not even bothering to look at him and then blaming the healer because he's out of mana. But I think that would be the only reason I could think to like mark something up. Now, I mean, if you're doing a raid, that's completely different. But these non-heroic dungeons, I don't, as long as you're, staying together as a group, probably not necessary. Cynic says the AI voiceover add-on may sound like a human is speaking because a human had to speak the words in the first place. I'm pretty sure the AI just uses existing voice lines and dialogues and manipulates them into other speeches, paragraphs. Yeah, I think you're right. But what's interesting about this, and it gets me every time, is you can hear like microphone bumps, or you can hear somebody popping their P's, like the voiceover. So I guess that obviously tells you that a human originally did it. But what's interesting is that stays in place after the AI gets a hold of it. To me, that's interesting. You think if they were just doing words, it would eliminate the P popping and especially the mic bumps. It's very interesting, the voiceover add-on. It's a great, great add-on. But yeah, good point. Good point, Cynics, for sure. How's it going over there, man? I think you mentioned, this is at least a year ago, probably more, you were thinking about going tech school programming or something. I'm curious to how that's going, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Jamie says, already at episode 69. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you did there. I forgot the comments, but on your previous episode, forgot which one, you were talking about songs. I thought, why not list some that I absolutely love? Holy crap, let's check them out. This is Jamie's favorite songs right here. Some older songs. Metallica 1. A lot of Metallica. Sad But True. For Whom the Bell Tolls. Nice. For Whom the Bell Tolls. This Ride the Lightning. Sad But True, I think, is the Black Album. 1 is Injustice for All. Pantera. I'm a big Pantera fan. Walk. Radiohead, Creep. I think I'm like one of the only people in the world who never got into Radiohead very much. I like some of their songs, for sure. They're an interesting band. Red Hot Chili Peppers I cannot stand, but that's just me. But Rick Beato did a pretty interesting, he had an interesting talk with Rick Rubin about the Chili Peppers. I know a lot of people love them, for sure. Californication and Can't Stop. Pretty much everything from ABBA. ABBA is a classic band. Yeah, classic Swedish band. They've got some really interesting music. They really do. Really complicated melodies and things like that. If you're into music theory, they've got some interesting things. And he says pretty much everything from Queen. Queen is pretty awesome. I get a little bit tired of like the songs you always hear, but they've got some deeper stuff on their albums, which is just incredible, man. Really is. Great, great band. Unbelievable guitar player. And of course, Freddie Mercury, man, one of the best singers ever. His range is just insane. Here's some newer songs, mostly from the early 2000s, so I'm going to hate all of this. It's okay. I'm just an old man. So The Killers, Mr. Brightside, Kanye West, not a fan at all, but all of these songs, you guys probably know these. He says, I love Kanye West, the old Kanye West, at least. Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to tell you if he came on the radio or something. I wouldn't even know who it was. But um, that's cool, man. Appreciate you taking the time here. I do. I love Sad But True, and For Whom the Bell Tolls. That's like I said, Ride Lightning, pretty old school Metallica right there for sure. There's much more I like in many other artists, but these are basically the ones I consider my favorite songs of all time. I know you probably won't like any of the newer songs since you're an old ass man. Since they are mostly early 2000s hip hop, but yeah, thought I'd share a bit. Much love to y'all. Thank you, Jamie. Thanks for sharing, man. It's always interesting to know what people are into. I think it is. Very cool. Thank you for sharing. And again, just because I'm not into something doesn't mean that we're not friends or, I give today's music a lot of crap. I really do. But that's just because I grew up in the 70s and it's just a different time. So the most impactful music to me was, well, really through the 80s and the mid 80s, because I was a teenager. And when you're a teenager, I think the music you're listening to has the biggest impact on you, and it forms what type of music you like. And because my parents were basically hippies, they were listening to 60s and 70s music, classic rock and roll and stuff. So I got turned on to bands like Steve Miller, Steely Dan, Fleetwood Mac, then the Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, the Stones, Beatles, stuff like that. And it had a huge, huge impact on me and the way that I think music should be. I just like music that is not digitally produced and not auto-tuned. I like the idea of a songwriter writing all of their music. Lennon and McCartney. I mean, that's it. If you look at the Beatles, and I know, you younger people probably, you're not into the Beatles, right? But you cannot deny their music and what they did. And I think I was comparing, well, there was an article that came out about Taylor Swift, and they were comparing her, they were comparing her to the Beatles. It's just not even a comparison to make. If you look at Taylor Swift songs, yeah, she's credited as a writer, but there'll be like 15 people who wrote the song. And if you look at the producer, he's basically doing everything. I mean, Taylor Swift will play a little bit of a guitar and then they'll loop that track through the song. But it's just completely different. I don't know who did that comparison. I think it was Time magazine or one of these other ridiculous magazines, but it's just such a stupid comparison to make in so many aspects. But that doesn't take away from the fact that how popular she is. She's got a great voice, and I know she's beautiful and all of that, but I'm just not into that kind of music. But that doesn't mean we can't be friends, at all. I just have a different opinion. That's all that means. And I'm going to get off the topic right now before I piss more people off. Mid-ventures, shiver me timbers and shiver me flats. All right. Appreciate what you did there, my friend. I guess I was doing a pirate voice or something in there. He's like, no, I'm doing the pirate voice, my friend. Mid-Venture's got a bunch of great stuff going on over there on his channel. He really does. Welcome back from the honeymoon, my friend. I'm glad to hear you had a wonderful time. I really am. Eel Hayes just gives me an explanation point there. I like that. He likes the Naked Warrior. Yes, he does. Dustin, the intro song sounds similar to the riff and the beat of Tie Your Mother Down by Queen. Does it? When I put this song in here, I had a kind of a vibe. It sounded familiar to me too. Let's actually check it out. Because now that you've said that, now I have to know. It does. Absolutely, man. 100%, dude. Good catch, man. That is a great catch, dude. Yes, it is. Dustin, I don't know if you saw the other thing I did. I was asking you about, I need you to turn me on to, because I know you're a big Taylor Swift fan, a song that you think would sum her up, like for somebody who doesn't listen, because I do like to keep an open mind, and I love a great vocal performance. I'm more about a great vocal performance with great lyrics, but if there's a song you think Like, what's your favorite Taylor Swift song? And let me know. So, because I'd love to listen to it. Seriously, I like to keep an open mind. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm hoping it didn't piss you off too much. Again, keep in mind I'm an old man and I rant. Today's music is, that kind of stuff. At 9:50, his face. Let's see what this is. Look at his face here.
If you're looking for training, you best catch him while you can understand him.
Yikes. I'm glad somebody else got a kick out of that. It was absolutely terrifying, that NPC face up there. Oh, John, what's going on? I can't keep up with these uploads. Slow down, please. Never. Never, my friend. I'm a lunatic, and I have no life, and I have no job. I have no social life. I have no girlfriend. I have no family. I have no pets. This is what I do. Love you, John. The 10-15 minute mark, playing naked, you would probably want Thunderclap. Aha. It does a little damage, but it slows the target as well. So if you're close to death but close to killing or need to run away, Thunderclap might save your arse. I appreciate that, man. I was aware. I've got... Do we have Hamstring yet? No, I don't have Hamstring yet, I don't think. But Hamstring is going to be big. But I'll definitely look into Thunderclap 100% until we get Hamstring if I don't have it yet. Because, yeah, that's going to be key. That's a survival technique you'll learn doing a hardcore challenge or a permadeath challenge. Mobs that can run away, if you're in an area that's tightly packed with mobs, especially like a cave or something, you need to control them with some type of AoE type of thing. Thanks, Glenn. I appreciate it, man. 100%. This is it. We're caught up here. At the 13-minute mark, you people who didn't live near the Arctic Circle. Are you drunk, Glenn? You people who didn't... Hold on, what is this? Coming this afternoon. Should be here in the next couple hours. It's going to be cold tonight as well, so I'm going to get that thing installed, get me some heat going. Okay, I see the reference. Yes, I did not grow up near the Arctic Circle, Glenn. I've been without heat in my apartment, and it's been down close to freezing. Freezing in Fahrenheit is 32 degrees. Wait, I think that lines up, though, Alexa. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is how many Celsius?
32 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, it's 0.
0 degrees
of course.
Celsius.
Right, 0. So... Yeah, it's been my point is it's just very cold in my apartment, and I just got my gas furnace. I got the part for it, installed it just day before yesterday, so I do have heat again. But I've been without heat, and that sucks. If you've ever been without heat in the wintertime, it's not a good deal. It sucks quite a bit. Anyway, we are caught up here. All right, let's bring this on down to Funky Town here. DaVinci Resolve, I'm finished doing that. Episode 4. I've just got through rendering episode 4 of The Naked Warrior. I got to stay on top of this so I don't forget. Let's get rid of this one. Sorry. Get rid of those. And that's what I'm recording. Okay. That's it. We are all caught up. I appreciate your comments so much, your support. It makes me quite happy. It gives me something to look forward to. I look forward to the comments, and I get so much more than other channels my size, and I'm very grateful for that. I really am. I've got some regular commenters, and I get new people commenting all the time and trying to help me out, and it's a wonderful thing. It really is. I know I say this every time. It's just because I mean it. I appreciate it. But anyway, I guess that's it. Do I have any news? Not really. So we're back to 3 Let's Plays a day. And if I start the Fright Night series, the way that I'm going to do those, is every other day at 7 p.m. So there'll be 4 videos every other day, which is a lot. It's a lot to do. I kind of, like I said, I do this all the time. I'll get a gap in my schedule. I'll finish a Let's Play like Moria, right? So I have 2 videos a day because of the way I alternate stuff. What did I do? I turned around and I put a new Let's Play on the channel, not even thinking with the Naked Warrior, but I got inspired to do it. But what I could have done, I could have got Red Dead back or Harry Potter or started the new Fright Night. We will be starting a new Fright Night series too. Drew, thank you for giving me the game, man. I forgot that you did it. I've been gifted games like over the years as a YouTuber, and a lot of them are just sitting in my Steam library, and I've just kind of, forgot about them, that they're in there, and I need to look through them. But I think we probably will go with Resident Evil 2. But I got another great tip. I can't remember who it was from. The game is called Tormented Souls, and it's on sale. I got the game for $3. I can't remember who it was that recommended the game, but it's only $3, so I got it. It's regularly $20, so it's like 90-something% off. I might start that. We might just change it up a little bit and do Tormented Souls first. I've never played it, never heard of it. I watched a little bit of a clip from Steam. That's how I size up games, and it's got great reviews. We might be doing Tormented Souls next, and I kind of meant to start it on Halloween night, but I ended up doing the horror video the story that I put out there. So anyway, I guess that's it, guys. Again, thank you so much to all of my subscribers who have chosen to subscribe. It's free to do, and it helps me out in my rock and roll fantasy of trying to actually make a living from YouTube. Right now, I'm not able to do that. I'm able to pay part of a bill every 2 or 3 months, which it is what it is. But obviously, my rock and roll fantasy is to be able to make enough money from YouTube to pay my rent. I mean, that would be incredible, but I'm a long, long way off. But every time I get a subscriber, if somebody chooses to do it, or they even thumbs up the video or leave a comment, or even just watching, it helps my channel grow and it pushes it up in the YouTube algorithm, and it's more likely to be recommended over on that right-hand side of the screen, which may bring a new viewer or something. That's the way YouTube works. So the fact that I get so many wonderful comments really, really helps. So thank you so much for everybody who watches. A big hug to people who have subscribed, and a big giant hug and some private time to my channel members. You guys support me financially with those few dollars a month, and it goes such a long way. It really does. I cannot thank you enough. Anyway, that's it for me. Love you so much. Take care. I'll see you in a future episode of something. Peace.